Hey guys, Sammy here. This script was made at like 2 a.m., so I apologize if I sound a little iffy. Today I'm going to be doing a complete rehash of the Paper Hat Society video and how a society is morally corrupt, denounces others in hopes of their silence, just to later on just straight up slander the person. So hopefully this will be a complete rehash of my original video, this time making sure it isn't taken down, which it was illegally taken down. I'll say nothing of personal identifiable information, including Paper Hat Society's real name, even though it's literally plastered all over his YouTube and his website. I also need to add that this video is not intended for harassment or any hate campaign. Therefore, if this video is taken down / removed, it's deemed as an illegal takedown because I'm not giving any PII, aka personal identifiable information, or breaking any copyright laws because Paper Hat Society is not a copyrighted figure. Before I go over anything, do not harass nor try to contact Paper Hat Society in hopes of speaking to him about this topic. It's overall just a waste of time, and I alone would like to speak to him. If any harass is sent toward Paper, I denounce you. So firstly, let me summarize who Paper is as a person and as a content creator. Paper Hat Society is a gooner who uploads his fetish content to YouTube and tries to push it on the kids, and also tries to push the blame onto anti-furries, even though I'm half certain little teenagers aren't the reason for his porn addiction. What Paper does for content is make shitty SFM animations in which you're put in a scenario where you have to like kiss a character, which is usually a furry. You may be asking, Sammy, why do they usually have to be a furry? Well, that's because Paper Hat Society really likes his furry mommies, okay? He really likes his furry little girls. He's kind of weird like that. Let's move over to his complete degenerate actions, in which indeed aren't good. So firstly, I'd like to go over Paper's Rule 34 page. Then I'll move on to his website. He objectifies teens, women, animals, you name it. Here's a few horrible things from Paper's Rule 34 page. If you're sensitive to these topics, you should probably click off and move to one of Ant's videos. It makes a few good points in which I'll probably convey later on. Jerked off to Sky and Melody Prower, in which are both minors, Melody being 14 and Sky being 8 years old. I don't even need to say how fucking disgusting that is. He has also jerked off to a lot, and I mean a lot of underage characters, like Tails the Fox, Dot Warner, Sonic the Hedgehog, Knuckles the Echidna, Coco Bandicoot, Talking Angela, and the list goes on of young characters that have been sexualized by this man. Now that we're done with that, let's move on to Paper's website. Paper's website is a complete mess, and if you read any of the things stated on it, I'm half certain you're going to either take him very seriously or not seriously at all. He claims anti-furries are terrorists and that all of them have intentions of like malice on it.
What Sammy was trying to play here was pretty dumb, so I'll just get into it. So, Paper Hat Society, you have a problem with these people attacking you, yet you make all these videos calling them Nazis when you jerk off to Nazi gore porn. I mean, come on, man. Stop trying to act like you're the victim when, honestly, I think you want to be a victim.
On the same website, he hosts links and images. We'll get to that shortly. In his art, if you scroll down enough, you'll see it. There's a few tabs called Original Art and Fan Art. If you click on either of them, you'll just be flashbanged by hentai and some AI furry porn. And if you scroll down to the same group, you'll see his links. Click the links, and one of the first links is probably, or no, not probably, it does involve NSFW, being those same POV kiss videos he posts on his YouTube channel, and which I can literally view with an account that is set to 10 years old, which is kind of odd, wouldn't y'all agree? Now, let's move on to our Discord debate, me and Paper Hat, in which I want you people to keep in mind for later, alongside the Rule 34 links on his website. Okay, Mason, I want you to put the debate here. Cut out this part. Good evening. Hello. Do you mind explaining all of those degenerate accounts on those sites? Just Rule 34 or others? Sure, just Rule 34. So let's be simple. Look, I'm sorry. I've been feeling pensive about this, and I don't want the community to think I'm something I'm not. But you are. Don't lie to your audience. You are. Let's continue. It's honestly just disgusting. I will remove all of these from my favorites.
This right here should be enough evidence that he does own this Rule 34. I mean, come on, man. But whatever, Sammy will get into it later.
Please, just let me redeem myself. This is basically him begging me to not really expose him. Then why not take the steps to remove this from your life? I'm going to wipe that. From me exposing you, and you seeing that, and you making that excuse, that tells me you knew you were in the wrong. You know you're placing lust in a field of stuff that could change you. And you truly need to realize the fact that you can change as a person. Especially with all of the stuff you say about anti-furries, it honestly just really concerns me. Because you're a full-grown adult interacting with a community full of basically teens. And seeing all of the stuff you favorite, your complete hypocrisy, it kind of makes me disappointed. And or worried, too. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. But anti-furries are bullying and terrorizing people. But don't you think that you should treat others the way you want to be treated? Instead of being in a place of hate for these individuals, why not show them compassion? Why not show them that you still support them, even though it's minuscule? I do. People have said I'm the nicest person they've ever met. Blah, 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 blah. But neither of you know the hellish life I've had. I suffer from severe PTSD, and confrontations like this are causing it to flare up. I'm so upset and stalked by people online. Why won't they just leave me alone? Why just not try differing yourself from that crowd? But I do. I have unique ideas, and I put that into art and videos. That's a lie. And don't get me started on the mental scars that have plagued me for years from being bullied online. I get you have traumatic experiences, but you see the main problem is, when people like you and your content, when I was a young individual who had unlimited access to the internet, like YouTube, let's say I was like 4, which I was being exposed to the content you're basically pushing, and when I viewed it, I had an addiction till I was 12. And to see stuff like that on your page severely disappoints me. Sure, you could blame the parents, but they weren't there, were they? I would blame the content about, I could play, blah blah blah, holy shit, I'm fucking stuttering. I would blame the content and how you and your content, like, let's see, your newest POV Kiss video is literally pushing a character from a children's film into a more intimate setting, in which I believe that these characters that you have on your channel could push the problem that repeats itself into porn addiction onto the youth. I would love to also call out the fact in your anti-furry video, in which you call YouTube poop and another ex-anti-furry that you found on Reddit to be completely hypocritical. From the research I've done, I saw you claim firstly that once an anti-furry, always an anti-furry. First off, my channel is set not made for kids. Secondly, I set my videos as 18 plus, only when the situation is too NSFW. I am responsible in that fact. That's not the problem, because most of the majority of kids don't have their own YouTube accounts and use their parents. And their parents, well, of course, are over 18. From the content I've seen from you, there's no age restriction. It won't matter much after the Screen Act will force everyone to verify their age. You see, the main problem with that is that's not the problem. The children can still verify with their accounts, and nonetheless, the kid can still fall under addiction. And what about kids seeing anti-furry meme videos and being exposed to extreme violence, gore, war, death, and other extremes? That's definitely not good for children. Anti-furry memes are basically furry propaganda. Since, well, firstly, what genre are we talking about? Status videos? I also wouldn't say that they're exposed to gore and violence, and etc. Because honestly, if it's a literal child with no social media, nor the acknowledgement to make one, how would they get involved? The simple answer is that they can't. You're completely downplaying the situation with this argument. Just because somebody makes this content doesn't mean you have to counter it. But you didn't answer my question. Do you think it's good for children to see violent content? No, I don't. But do you think it's good for children to see fetishized content? Because that's exactly what you're pushing. I mean, Halo Guy 7 or Flash Kids. Violent, gory stuff. Well, Halo Guy is a reformist anti-furry. He's not really an anti-furry. Flash Kits, I literally seen you jerk off to their content or fan content on Rule 34. And I send an image of him commenting under an image of a Flash Kits character being, basically fucked. Anywho, He completely goes quiet after that, as I add Ant and a few other people in here. Paper, 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 paper. You're welcome. Alright, before I move on to Paper Hat Society's two responses to me, I'm going to read out some of his community posts and how flat out hypocritical they are, and then one of his videos. This video is not copyrighted. If my video is taken down, I'll re-upload it again because it's just using stills from the video. And I will be providing critiques, therefore making the entire video fair use. Lol, trust us, brah. We've done the research. Their research. A few MSM sites about a few bad apples in the fandom and almost no official police reports. Meanwhile, they ignore the vast, undeniable proofs of their hypocrisy and committing far worse crimes than they claim the furry fandom commits. Accuse your enemy of what you are guilty of to create confusion. Unknown author. Anti-furry, double standards, number 21. Silence. Just because we don't talk about insert person or subject here, doesn't mean we're against insert pronoun here, and the anti-furries are calling the furry a liar after the furry said it. Wait, quick question. Why isn't the anti-furry a sigma here when the furry is? They said the same thing. What? That's kind of weird. Anyways, let's move on to the next community post, which I find this one absolutely hilarious, by the way. You look this up on r/anti-furry cringe, you find it was indeed sent to a 10-year-old girl, and the perpetrator said the following. She deserved it. F ing gotcha Furry art is sick. There's kids on this platform. You sent pics of graphic violence to one of them and said she deserved it for being a gotcha fan. So Paper Hat Society, do you want to know what I find hypocritical about this? It's the fact that you literally back this up with nothing. You use a not so good source, a biased source, anti-furry cringe, to push the agenda that all anti-furries are horrible people, when some of them can be great. Like, just how furries say not the entirety of them are horrible people, there could be some nice anti-furries out there. You just don't know that, do you? So when you use this with absolutely no proof, while literally 2 weeks before making a community post about proof, I find it completely hypocritical. Anyways, let's move on to the third post, which he literally compares himself to Jesus Christ. Alright. This man says he's a Christian, yet makes degenerate yith. And Paper Hat Society is a sigma. This man receives sinners and eats with them. And it's Jesus Christ.
I'm gonna stop right here and give my little thoughts about it. What the fuck is he even trying to say? No, actually. See, God was received these. He wasn't just making it. What is your point here, Mr. Paper Hat Society?
Why are you comparing yourself to Jesus Christ or Paper Hat Society? You know you're not supposed to compare yourself to God. God is a very, very horrible thing to compare yourself to. Not because it's bad in any sense. It's because it's forbidden in the Bible. And sure, you could use the excuse that you don't follow the Bible, in which all I have to say is that how are you a Christian if you don't follow the Word of God? Anyways, let's move on to the video. Let's see what we have here. Anti-furries, the true guilty. Alright. Crimes alleged by anti-furries. Yeah, grooming, child pornography, zoophilia. Things anti-furries have exposed children to, / have no problem with. Extreme violence / gore, proof. Nazism / radical ideologies, proof. Racism / hate speech. Drug abuse, suicide, terrorism. You're acting like furries haven't done this. The furry community is vastly bigger than the anti-furry community, so there's a more probable chance of furries doing more disgusting shit than anti-furries. You have to realize that the furry community doesn't always have to be the good guys. They can also be the bad guys. They can be degenerates, like yourself. Let's move on to the next slide. I'm just gonna skim past all of that. The crimes of anti-furries far outweigh any so-called crimes they claim the furry community commits. Naturally, they tend to play the victim card and accuse those who call them out of defending the very actions they criticized, all while ignoring their own misdeeds. It's a classic case of projecting their guilt onto others to stir up confusion. YouTube poop is among the types of videos that anti-furries have no problem with, in spite of the fact they expose children to far more than just sexual content. Spinge Bill being an abundant and infamous example. Alright, let's move on, The former anti-furries even confirm that their crimes are indeed real. Alright, I see. And all, the public needs to be educated on the truth of the furry fandom and the not state-approved doctrine of fascist neo-Nazis. Fur Science, a decade of psychological research on the furry fandom. So you see, the reason why I don't usually talk about fur science is that it's fur science. They're biased. These should be introduced to public education systems so that anti-furries cannot brainwash the public anymore. I find that stupid. Anyways, let's move on to the hypocrisy of this. So if you go to Paper Hat Society's playlists, you'll see Junkyard, YouTube poop fillers, and crap posts. Scroll down a little more, you see no favorite YouTube poops. Let's click on poops. Wait, who is this? What a familiar little face. Spingebill gets Obamacare. Spingebill can't make KFC. Spingebill has a pickle fetish. Spingebill's very last Christmas. I find that hysterically hypocritical of you, Paper Hat Society, to be calling something out while favoriting it. Alright, now I'm going to move on to the second thing I find hypocritical about this video. The former anti-furries claim. Alright, so you see, the thing I find super funny about this is because if you watch one of Ant's videos, the Paper Hat Files, you'll see that Paper Hat Society said, once an anti-furry, always an anti-furry. So why are we using the excuse that former anti-furries are even confirming that their crimes are indeed real? What I'm seeing here is that you, the guy who's known for twisting shit, is twisting, you're twisting the narrative here. You're making it seem like this former anti-furry has always been a furry, and that they're not once a furry. You're favoriting them over another individual who actually provides criticism over your work. I find that extremely hypocritical, Noah. Alright. We are almost done now. We have one thing to go over, and this is the most dumbest thing I've ever had to go over. Alright, guys, let's get over with it. Anti-furries have quite a lot of nerve. Back in August, 2 of them confronted me, presenting me with evidence commenting on certain content in Rule 34. I was initially fooled by it. Now, I seldom interact with the Rule 34 community, but after doing an extensive look through my comments and favorites, I realized immediately what they had done, and it had me boiling mad. Those twerps had taken my username and a random weirdo's comments and grafted them together to make it seem like I was commenting on it. Whoa, I just said contenting. My bad, guys. I knew they would pull these types of stunts at one point. I knew it, because anti-furries aren't exactly known for honesty. Wait. Were they ever to be honest to begin with? But now, their desperation has reached such historical lows that they have to start creating forgeries in order to chase clout. They'll do anything, absolutely anything, to get rises out of people. And now with this Sora AI being released, I suspect that they will do a whole lot more to try to slander the furry fandom. I swear to God, they're like the mini-me of Democrats. But that isn't the worst thing. The worst thing is that they're actively protect and hide pedophiles within their own community. It doesn't get any more vile and hypocritical than that. Yet furries are the bad guys? I don't trust anti-furries as far as I can throw them. I haven't, and I never will. Oh boy. You don't know how this had me both so giggly and so angry at the same time. Firstly, he calls me an anti-furry, in which I'm not. Secondly, I'd rather actually be a furry than an anti-furry. In August, I indeed reached out to you with someone I would like to keep anonymous, in which we debated over your opinions. We did confront you on the Rule 34 stuff. We presented factual evidence. The images are real. I'll even add a recording of me on my physical phone recording my monitor and refreshing his page.
This is quite literally, not fake. Where's it at? Did you delete it? No way. There's no way. I think you deleted it. And Oh my god. Did he actually? No fucking way. He deleted it. He deleted it to try right away. Yo.
just to prove that my source is factual. After doing an extensive look on your own porn page, you came to the conclusion that me and my alternative personalities, I don't know what he means by they, had forged everything, even though I didn't. I find it quite hilarious that he had to convey his argument with this. You weren't fooled, you damn well knew it was you. You yourself said that you were pensive about it. Yet, when provided proof otherwise, you opted to make excuses, in which I moved on to the YouTube content instead. We never took his username and pasted it onto a weirdo. Anyways, guys, I'm done with this video. I'm getting plain out tired of speaking about Paper since he's gonna end up doing something really stupid and I just know it. If this video goes down, I'll re-upload it since, well, I want the message to be spread. And for Paper, you can still hit me up. You can hit me up at GoCato on Discord. I'll see you guys hopefully soon. Peace, peace.